Well, welcome to another edition of Tim and Wendy's, and this time Reese's Appalachian Trail Adventures. So it's Saturday the 20th of May, and we're doing a 3-day hike. So we started just above Hurricane Creek Campground near Troutdale, Virginia. And we're going around 26 miles. Going to finish up in Atkins. So let me tell you about what's happened to this point. So we're 4 miles in. We started hiking about 15 after 3. It's now 10 after 6. We just stopped and ate dinner at a Trampy shelter. But let me back up. So we've been planning this trip for a month at least, right? And we were actually going to do 4 days, 3 nights until yesterday. I got a phone call for a job interview that I have to go to on Tuesday, so we had to back it up 1 day. So we just started a little further north on the trail. So plan was to bring my car, park it where we're getting on the trail. We parked Wendy's in Atkins at the Barn restaurant where we're getting off the trail. So we're going to hike from my car to hers. She's going to bring me back to mine. We're going to pick mine up and go back home. So we leave the house this morning 11 o'clock, 11:30ish. We drive to Atkins. We pull in at the barn for Wendy to park her car. I get out of my car, walk over to hers, and she says, "I don't have my car key." And I'm just like, okay, whatever. She's like, "No, seriously, I don't have my car key." I'm like, you drove your car all the way up here. So she has the Kia. It has the key fob. It doesn't have to have a key that's inserted. So it just has to be in the car somewhere. The car will start. Well, since we're leaving our cars for a couple of nights, I told her this morning she might want to take, valuable stuff out of her car just in case. So she decided that before we left the house, she went out and started her car, got ready to back out and says, I don't need my purse. I'm going to take my purse out and take it back inside the house. So she did. Gets back in her car and drives off. All right, hang on a second. I got a rock in my shoe. All right, so the clip cuts. I'm starting again. So she gets in her car, backs out, goes up the road. Mind you, it's an hour drive from home. She pulls in. I get out. She says, "I don't have my key." I said, "You drove up here. You gotta have your key." Turns out, you can start a Kia as long as the key's in the car. Take the key out of the car, it'll still drive. Until you stop, put it in park, and turn it off. And then all of a sudden it says, "No key detected." It was a cruel joke, I thought. It was not a joke. I was not real excited about it. But, what can I do? So, we decided, well, gotta go get a key. No use to hiking to a car without a key. So, we decided to call Gavin. He's our hero. So he got Wendy's car key out of her purse and drove and met us in Meadowview. So it was about a 30-mile drive for us and a little over 30 for him to get to us. So put us back about probably an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. So we get the key from Gavin, who again was the hero. Told Gavin, well, first of all, Wendy's worried to death about him driving on the interstate. She don't want him to drive on the interstate. He's only been driving for 5 months, and she's nervous about him driving on the interstate. So Good Lord, I don't know what that was. So, it's like a big crow. It's hilarious. So anyways, since she's nervous about Gavin driving on the interstate, tell Gavin, text us when you get home to let us know you're home, okay? Alright. Well, the problem is, once we come across the mountain from Marion to Sugar Road, we don't have any service. So we start driving up the interstate, and I guess don't think much about it because it starts raining. So it's thundering and lightning and storming and raining. And we drive to where we're going to get on the trail. And it's raining. And then all of a sudden Wendy remembers Gavin didn't text her. And she's wanting to know when we would have service. And I'm like, I don't know if we'll have service for 2 days. So, of course, she could see it in her face. So, while it was raining, we got in the car and drove back towards Marion. Once we get on top of the mountain, we start calling Gavin. Gavin don't answer. We start calling Corbin, trying to find out if Corbin knows where Gavin is. Anyways, long story short, finally got in touch with Gavin. He made it back. He'd stopped at a friend's house or somewhere, so that's why he didn't text us, because technically he wasn't home yet. Drove back to the trail. Started hiking at 3:15. So, about 3 hours. 2.5 hours after we planned to. And it was raining when we got out of the car, and it rained for about the first 2 miles. It wasn't bad. So, you know, maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we didn't start hiking. There's a dang severe weather alert comes across the radio when we pull in about severe thunderstorms and flash flood warnings in, guess where? Grayson County, including the town of Troutdale. So it was interesting. So here we are. So that first mile that we hiked took us about almost an hour. Had to stop a couple times. Reese had to adjust her backpack, and a couple times had to get her iPod out. Well, finally she got her iPod out, and that girl put her earbuds in, and we rocked and rolled. We went at least 3 miles an hour for the next hour. I mean, at one point I literally had to jog and run to catch up to her because she was getting out of my sight, and to tell her to slow down. So it was a little over 4 miles to Trimpe shelter. So we got to Trimpe around 5 o'clock. We ate, cooked some dinner, ate. There was probably 8 people there at the shelter. It was full. There was a tent there. It was all muddy and nasty there at that shelter, so we filled up on water and took off. So we're now hiking again, and it's 20 after 6, and the plan is to go 2 or 3 more this evening. Probably another hour till we can find a decent campsite. So, anyways, that's all I've got for now. So this is our campsite for tonight. We were at another little spot up there, and we came down. So we came down here, and there was a trail maintainer putting a new register sheet in. Reese was the first one to sign it, and he told us, come on, he told us about this stealthy little spot, so nobody knows it's back here.
Just right this way, sir. Mind your head. And then it opens up a little bit. Have a little time to stand up. I've seen it. Keep on walking. We almost gave up. When we were coming through here, but we didn't. And here's the campsite. So we have our little fire stove over here. No, I'm just kidding. This way, y'all. Look at this beautiful thing. Would y'all look at it? Look at it.
So here's our spot. Backpacks hanging on the trees there. Got Wendy in there, already in the tent. Say hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Creek right over there.
I go pee-pee in the woods.
Nice job, Reese.
Oh, he just peed on me. Not a pose, just a pee.
Well, it's day 2 of our trip, and our key word for this hike is wet. Figured you didn't want to look at me while I'm talking. So, it is 11:24. We are almost 5 miles in for the day. We started hiking at about 8:30. So, terrain's been nice. Ouch. But we got up this morning around 7 and it was raining. Not raining real hard, but enough to make us sit and wait for a second. And the longer we waited, the harder it rained. So we figured might as well do it. So we started packing up, which is not fun, but it was a new experience. We got to pack everything up in the rain, take the tent down in the rain, which the tent's now wet. I think our sleeping bags are damp. Our sleeping clothes are damp. And of course we're wet. So we started off hiking and it rained for about the first 45 minutes to an hour. So we're pretty much soaked all day. But the bright side of that is it's not hot, although it's warm. I don't know, it's probably mid-70s. Enough to make you sweat coming up those hills like that. We've got about 2.8 left to Partnership Shelter, where we intend to order pizza. So that's what's driving us on at this point. So it's 1 o'clock and we are coming up to the top of the hill.
I thought we were still half a mile away.
Area and you can't camp here.
I know, it's like, how nice would this be for camping? And you can't camp within a half a mile, it says. So,
The forest rangers.
There's forest rangers.
anyways, we just kicked that 1.5 miles butt.
I thought we just had I thought we still had a half a mile.
Reese just drug us both up the hill at about 3 miles an hour.
Yes, we did.
So, we're coming up to partnership right here.
I'm ready for my real food.
Ready for your what?
Real food.
Ready for real food. Oh yeah, and by the way, it rained again a moment ago. Of course. There's partnership. There's Wendy.
Wendy's hot.
So I just want to do a quick wrap up since I didn't get to do it when we were actually out on the trail. So on Sunday we were hiking to the partnership shelter. We ordered some food there, and then we intended to dry out our gear that was completely soaked from the night before and from raining all day on Sunday. And so we set up partnership for a couple hours waiting for the weather to clear up and an opportunity to get our tent out, get it dry, at least get our sleeping bags somewhat dry. And we sit and waited, and the opportunity never came. So around 4 o'clock that afternoon we ended up calling a cab and getting a ride back to my car and wrapping it up. So anyways, the trip was cut a little bit short, but it was supposed to get down to about 50 degrees on Sunday night up there, and we were going to be wet, and it just wasn't going to be fun, so we decided to call it quits. So anyways, that's how it ended. So we're going to try it again here, I guess in a couple of weeks, depending on how things are looking, and we'll make another film then. See ya.